Every relief carving has a particular viewpoint. It's all about depth and the way the depth has been used. And if you change the viewpoint, you change the whole perspective on the whole look of the carving. So I was carving this and looking something like this. That was how it would be on my bench from where the camera's looking. And now that is not the same as this, which is now at eye level from where the camera's looking. Totally different point of view, and everything's being distorted when I turn it like this. So what I've done here is I'm using my bench top, which tilts. I'm tilted back about 20 degrees, which enables me to look pretty much direct on to this carving as I would see it when it's on the wall. And that's quite an important thing to be able to do. I've got the dogs at the bottom here to hold it. I've got this little thing at the top, which will protect those ends here, and I'll use these dogs to hold that in position. If you don't have a bench that tilts, then you need to make some sort of easel, some sort of board that is just at 20 degrees that you can clamp this to, that you can see the perspective correctly. It's a tricky perspective, this one, this boat, and I think working as I was before, I'm certainly not going to be able to do it justice compared with what I am now. So set your board up like this, set your work up, and then we'll start moving into the boat and shaping it. I'm using my model as a reference here. That really helps me visualize what's happening. And I can see that this part of the boat here, up here, is going to be the highest point. So very little wood removed from there. And it's going to drop down a little bit and into the background here. But the main stress, the main change is going to be like this. It's going to be taking wood back round here like this. And it means also that this back part here has to come quite well back into the wood. Not quite sure where, but it could well come back at least halfway. And then the other important thing is that this line here, which is the top of the boat, here, the gunnel of the boat, that represents a big change of plane, so that everything back here is going to be cut off at pretty much at 90 degrees to this front plane here. So those are the two things I'm going to be looking at. All this is going to disappear, the drawing, and I'm going to have to put that back in. So I'm going to start by taking this around here like this, and then cutting that plane back here. Not worrying at all about the details. Being careful with little bits like this and this, which are short grain. So I'll take a flattish gouge, and I'm going to start rounding this off here. I need to come right to the background here, right to the shoreline, but I don't want to dig into it. We've changed the camera position so you can see more from my point of view. I'm also going to change from this medium gouge, which leaves facets because it's working in the opposite direction, the opposite curve to the curve of the boat, to a much flatter gouge, or better still, a chisel. So I'm coming down here, keeping this rounded, and then as I come round here I'm going to come right round. You see how this is turning, the chisel's turning over, so that comes right round like this, like that. And I'm bringing this right down to the floor here. So I've run this plane along here, and you can see that I've left this a little bit rough here. This is going to be soft in this area because the water comes up against the boat. So come round here and underneath, and if I look at my model to help me, I can see that is exactly what's happening. The gunnel here drops down like that and sweeps around, and the bottom of the boat goes underneath. Turning to my drawing, there it is. This red line that I've drawn in represents the edge of the boat, and now the plane is going back from here inside the boat to the far edge of the boat, the far gunnel on the other side, which is down to the water at the back. So I have to take all this off at an angle, and then we'll get a sense of the boat itself. I've gone as far as I dare here, and I'll be able to adjust this once I've got that in there and the boat looking more like a boat. Here's my change of plane up and along like that, and now I can start coming in this way because I'm going to have to hollow behind here. So this is actually the inside of the boat, of course, so it's not going to be full like that. So I can start creating this edge more accurately. The change of plane, as I said, comes from this edge to that back edge there. And what I've done now is I've gone in more vertical in here, because this gunnel here, on my drawing, on this type of boat, it starts like this and then it twists. So what we're looking at here is the upper side of the wood. And I think this gunnel line is really important. So we must get this in correctly. So I'm going to start putting this in. So it starts like this and then it starts turning at an angle like so. So this is the top of the gunnel that we can see, and we're going down to this line here. This is the bottom edge of the gunnel. Now you can see what's happening here. I can only go so far in this direction, and then I'm going to have to nip across the other side and start taking this down in this direction. This now represents the gunnel as it goes around, and I can get this line more accurately as it comes around the boat. So this is a reference point from now on. This line will come round here and the inside of the boat will come round the top like so. This bit in the middle, the best way to deal with that is with a flat gouge. You're coming down here and down the other side with a flat gouge going across it just to skim that off. So we're going to set the gunnel in here all the way around at an angle. Here's the gunnel in, dropping round the back here, and there's the back edge, and everything's curving round like this. So I'm fairly happy I've got the perspective right now. Mechanically it's difficult to carve like this, and certainly difficult to film, so I'm going to drop this back down to a more normal level of bench so I can carve further on it. But I will every now and again lift it up, even if it's not on a bench, to check that everything is looking right.